Goeienaand, good evening, Sabona, Saubona. So, um, with much frustration with Facebook, they blocked me, which is not cool. So, let me just fix my camera here. They blocked me in all the channels, USAC channels, a couple others. And so, I have a couple of issues that I want to talk about that with prior to the elections in South Africa. First of all, the IEC uh, is an absolute joke. Um, they have put together probably 50 different parties, and no matter what they did, they've accepted all of them. It's either about money or they just don't care. Um, the South African Human Rights Commission uh, deemed that Andile Masatama from the Black Land First and Malema from the Economic Freedom Front, they are okay to call for the killing of white people, the killing of Boers, killing of women and children, um, preferably white people, um, and this is okay. They violated not only the Constitution, but the rules of Human Rights Commission and the IEC rules. So uh, the whole of the South African system of government is corrupt, useless, toothless, and a waste of time. The South African Human Rights Commission should disband, and an international human rights commission needs to be formed in South Africa to address these problems. When you have this Andile Masatama running around telling people that the land thieves, what land thieves? The people that were born 400 years ago or the people that were born yesterday? This man is a joke. Um, to all the South Africans, this includes black people, white people, Indians, coloreds. I'm calling on you to think logically about what is about to happen. You want to hear Malema screaming, yes, we're going to give you free, we're going to give you free, we're going to give you free, we're going to give you free. It's nonsense. Most of the EFF are burning things. They're burning down the substations, they're burning down cars, buildings, clinics, government buildings where you can get your licenses. Just about everything you can think of is getting burnt down. And yet you want to vote these people in. To the most of the black people in South Africa. Please listen to me. Communism doesn't work. Socialist communism doesn't work. Free market capitalism does work. You will have numerous investments come into the country where you will actually get work. Communism doesn't work. For the last 25 years, you have seen the demise of your country, and you were better off with apartheid. Now, apartheid's wrong, and it will always be wrong. But based on this rhetoric that you're hearing from these parties that are advocating the stealing of land, you forget that Mandela came out of jail 25 years ago. Him and Desmond Tutu and many others came to the Truth and Recreational Commission and come to terms with one another. Once Mandela died, you got Zuma, who's a criminal. They forgot all about building up South Africa. And it landed up in this mess you're in right now. No electricity, hardly any work, rampant gas prices, rampant inflation. The rand dollar exchange is climbing by the day. People are pulling out of South Africa because of no investments. Guys, you got to concentrate on what's going to come. Please look at these parties that are out there. So let me just go over some points here, right? Since the announcement of your new president and then the pushing for land reform, it's an irresponsible response. It created numerous problems, namely racism, the taunting of racism, the constant killing of farmers. Just farmers, you got to understand. I understand there's land issues in South Africa. Most black people have never owned land. That's a fact. They don't have titles. They don't have land titles. They have blocks of a plot that they're allowed to build a shack on. But they do not have a land title. And until that becomes an issue, you got a problem. Now, given this land reform, you've got massive striking, massive attacks, massive unrest, burning, looting, and because even the police are going on strike. This is a sad thing. My daughter, Mfwetu, Usisi, these people umanga, they're lying to you. America's around the corner, would love to invest. England would love to invest. France, Germany, all these people want to invest. But they don't want to invest in people that are going to burn down everything. If you build it, they will come. But if you burn it down, they won't. You're going to land up like Zimbabwe. And this is not about white people or black people. You're all South Africans, right? People say, Catholic, call me Catholic, stupid American, and all this kind of stuff. Well, I was born in Natal. I kuluma a little bit of Zulu, but you got to understand, I grew up in apartheid. I grew up with you guys. I understand a lot of things. All I'm telling you is what the path that you're on right now is the wrong path. Stop looking at the white man as a danger to you. He's going to help you. He knows how the system works. And to push him aside is to destroy yourselves. To push the Indians aside, the same, the colors. To push other tribes aside, or the foreigners, or take them out of their trucks and beat them up, chop their legs off, just because they're foreigners, is not helping you. And these are black people. In South Africa right now, we have 58 murders a day. 58 murders a day. That's terrible. That's absolutely terrible. To everybody in South Africa, consider this. You cannot continue down this road where everybody's living in fear because of certain politicians who push their agenda and allow this kind of behavior all the time. Van Bail Park, taxi drivers shooting at each other over taxi wars. Each taxi company should only have 10 taxis, end of story, problem solved. And you won't have taxi wars. Load shedding. Suddenly there's no load shedding. Why? Because they knew the economy would collapse overnight. It's got to stop. Now that you have power, people are going and burning down the substations so you don't have power. Soweto, the entire thing of Soweto is free electricity because they know if they don't give them electricity, there will be a problem in the city. The problem is Soweto is draining the system. Guys, you can't do that. You have to pay for your electricity, just like everybody else. Because if you want equal rights, you have got to be equal. Everybody has to be equal. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, pink, or yellow. If you want equal rights, you have to do it too. People, stand up to the Tutsis. You got to stand up to the Tutsis. You got to stand up. Now, let's go over all the parties. There's like 500 parties. It's ridiculous. I mean, ridiculous. People are asking me, who do we vote for? I'm going to post this today. I'll show you what it is right there. Okay. There's a list of questions here. Acknowledgement of Almighty God in the Constitution. Looking over here, only 4 parties in this group have said yes. Against abortion. Same again, 4 parties. Education of parents' control and religious freedom. Most of it is, state or parent. Free market system against socialism. I'm surprised at some of this. Socialism doesn't work. The DA surprised me. They said yes and no. The DA, come on, guys. How can we trust you when you're sitting on the fence? Or are you just playing the politicians? You're playing the game. A free market system works. Communism, socialism does not work. Look at Europe. It's a mess. Everybody's got his hand out. Nobody wants to work. Everybody's on strike. And how does that work? Economies are always collapsing. Money is just a joke. It's a joke. Everybody's living on paper money that doesn't exist because the banks are really just printing money. Capital punishment. Lots of no's and some yeses. If it was me, I would say yes. Pro self-defense, firearm ownership. Strangely enough, it's only really the Christian parties that want the firearms. DA again, yes and no. I'm just wishy-washy, not sticking to anything because they don't want to be look bad or good. I found that very strange. Homosexuality and civil unions. Also, a lot of differences. Mostly the Christian party said yes. Some of them said no. Here's where I get surprised. Opposes discrimination based on race. Affirmative action. And there's a lot of no's. And a lot of yeses. What surprised me there's some parties in here that surprised me for saying no. And I'm going to ask about it. And then the eradication of pornography. A lot of no's and a lot of yeses. So here, I will post this on when I'm done. I'm pretty surprised with this. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to put it out that I would like the leaders of many of these parties to contact me via my email, which is United South African Coalition at gmail.com, or Hawk underscore Montgomery at gmail.com. I'll give you, if you contact me, I would like to speak to all their presidents individually. We'll set up a time and I will give you a list of questions that I'd like to ask you. And mainly, I'm going to ask you on why do you feel that you should lead the country, and what do you see as wrong in the country right now? We all know the economy is collapsing. We all know that most of the departments in the government have collapsed because of corruption. We all know that crime is rampant. We all know that rape is rampant. We all know the murder rate is almost 58 people a day. And I'm gonna steer away from the racial aspect of that because it's irrelevant. 58 people are dying a day. That's a lot of people. When you calculate that out times 365 days a year, that's a lot of people. So, in retrospect, one must think, how do we do this? How do you figure this out? And I'm talking, we must look at the leadership in South Africa. Why are they pointing fingers at the minorities when they're not pointing fingers at themselves to address the issues in South Africa? Number one, the police force is corrupt, inept, untrained, and unmanned or undermanned. They also have a massive problem where certain groups are being pushed into the police force and given promotions when they're not trained to do so. And that obviously is going to cause dissent and breakdown of law and order. Thirdly, crime is so rampant that in South Africa that it's okay to just rob people in the street and nobody does anything. A police car drives behind a truck while it's being looted and they do nothing. People are being murdered in the street and the police do nothing because they're undermanned and cannot cope with the situation. The farms are being attacked every day. And every farm you attack, that's one less food source you have. That needs to stop. 75% of the land owned in South Africa right now is owned by the government. They must stop lying. Stop making excuses to get votes. And to all the people in South Africa, including black people, white people, everybody, listen, think about your future, not the rhetoric, not the stories, not the lies. Do you honestly think that the EFF will have respect in the world, that they would want to come and invest in your country? No. I call upon everybody in South Africa, consider this. Do you want to go another 25 years with no schools, clinics, roads, factories that you can go to work every day and be proud that you're going to work and making something, making money, medical insurance, and go home to your families and feed your families? For the next 25 years, try this. Demand that your government get you out of the townships, destroy the townships, knock them down. Slowly, section by section, start building new houses. Expand it and build new houses on the land that's there. Call for investments into South Africa. Don't wait. Because when you've taken everything from everybody, there'll be nothing left and nobody will want to touch you. Is it okay to attack people in the street because they're driving a truck from another country? Because you did not want to take that job? That's not right. because your brothers are also in another country doing the same thing. People need to be calm. To the leaders in South Africa, all the leaders in South Africa. This includes the ANC, the DA, the COPE, IFP, everybody, ACDP, ACO, all of them. Call for you for restraint. Start talking to your people. Say no more of this crime. Citizens, stand up and stop this. Don't allow it to happen. Your country's going to die if you continue down this road. I'm trying to remember my Zulu right now. And if I remember, it says, when a tata for lutu, in other words, you take for nothing. That's not true. There's no such thing as for nothing. Because when you take another man's things, or you burn down his house, in a few years, there'll be nothing there. But wouldn't it be nice to take your children to decent schools, drive on decent roads, not worry about some man shooting people in the street, or raping your wife or your children, or killing your families, or robbing you on the way home from work? These are things that you must consider. And stop pointing fingers at the white man. He's trying to help you. He's not your enemy. He's your countryman. He's your friend. For years, you worked with white people. And yes, some are racist, some are not, mostly not. Same with the Indians, same with the coloreds. And please, guys, in the Cape, colored people, gangsters, stop now. You got to stop. You have to bring yourselves out of this mess, and you can't keep killing each other. You have to stop. Build up your communities. Help one another. Put the drugs away. Find ways to make money better than drugs and guns and killing people. Because nobody's winning. How much pain have you seen? All of you, everybody. So, guys, you've heard that Tammy has decided to start. Well, she had it before, and she has to concentrate on stuff because she has a family issue and needs more time at home and to spend more time with a family member that's very ill right now. She's also started a page called the Justice Review, where she'll still be able to help. She's still in the background helping us. So she hasn't gone away. She's still around, but she's still helping us from behind. And we're still in contact with her every day, so everything's okay. Guys, please get hold of your friends and their friends, and let's build up USAC and become a force to be reckoned with. I would like to get this out there. There's things that I cannot talk about right now that are in the works that we're working on. For the life of me, I don't know why I cannot get my live feed to work in Facebook. I don't know if there's some kind of technical issue or we've been deliberately blocked, but I will find out. My message to all of you is peace is the answer, investment is the answer, and look to these leaders. Look at this list of all the parties. Look at this list and look at these questions that they're asking them and see what is logical. Who's the right one to vote for? Andile Masatama needs to go to jail. The entire BLF or BLF Blackland First party needs to be disbanded. I would, if I was you, bombard the IEC and the Human Rights Commission, excuse me, the South African Human Rights Commission, bombard them with emails, texts, phone calls, and lawsuits. Literally bombard them. Any leader that stands up and advocates the killing of women and children, the shooting of people, and calling people racist names and inciting crowds to kill, murder, rape, and pillage should not be in this government. And according to the rules of the IEC and according to the South African Human Rights Organization, I'm absolutely disgusted with them because they have no teeth. They're a joke. I categorically call them a joke. I also would like to debate them on my channel. I willingly ask you to come on my channel and answer some very poignant questions and explain how do you justify stealing people's land. It's a human rights violation. A land that is bought with a title with money through a bank, an international bank. All the banks in South Africa are not owned by South Africa, they're owned by international banks. So, in fact, you're telling the rest of the world, hey, we're just going to take it, you ain't going to get your money, so why would they invest in your country? The IEC has a set of rules. Both the BLF, EFF have violated both of those. Any party in the country that's violated these laws should not take part in the elections. In fact, I call on, as I've said before, I've called on all the lawyers in South Africa to start filing lawsuits. Not one, multiple lawsuits against the IEC for breaking their own rules, against the parties that are advocating the murder of white people. And here's another thing. Any person murdered as of today, incited by these people, Andile Masatama and Malema, should be sued and criminal charges brought against them in a massive lawsuit and also criminal cases against them for inciting the murder of minorities. They should be held for crimes against humanity for these atrocities. And every day they incite more and more and more. And mob crowds become incited. They go out, they burn down buildings, they burn down government offices, clinics, cars, burn the roads, smash everything. That's not building up a country, that's destroying a country. There's some parties in here that are saying anybody that cannot justify where the 10,000 Rand goes needs to be put in jail for 5 years because they're stealing money. Good idea. Capital punishment. Good idea. For rape, murder, farm murders, all that stuff. There's a lot they can do. But all we see all the time is the finger pointing and no solutions. When are we going to hear, okay, for the next 5 years, we're going to build 400 schools. And for the next 5 years, we're going to rebuild all the roads or fix the bridges or put in new infrastructure for electrical or come up with massive solar fields or break up the electrical system so your system doesn't break down. Where are these people? Redo the military system. Redo the police with better training, better education, better fortitude. Put criminals in jail. Build more jails. Murderers, hang them all. Whatever needs to be done, come up with a solution. But what is happening right now is terrible. And you have to think about something. You need investments in South Africa. The rest of the world's looking at violence, burning, murdering, raping. Why would you invest in something like that? What I'm saying to you now is step back from what you're doing. Think about the future. Yes, you're angry, you don't have a job. Yes, you're lamile because you're hungry. Yes, you're worried about the future. But the future is not burning things and blaming people. The future is when you hear a man stand up and say, I understand there's a problem. I'm here to fix it. I'm not worried about the past. I don't care about a white man. I don't care about the black man. I don't care about the yellow man. And I don't care about the brown man. I care about all of you. And all of you means I want to build a road. I want to build a clinic. I want to build a hospital. And I want to build a factory. Because then you can go to work. And you can go home. And you can feed your families. These are the Tutsis. They're going to go in there again, get into power, scream, shout, blame, take, take, take. And in the end, you'll be back here again in a few years' time thinking there's another guy saying the same thing, blaming the same people, doing nothing again. Guys, you can turn this around now. Find a party that is Christian, multiracial, logical, highly educational, and coming up with logical, straightforward solutions. Not socialist, communist rhetoric that does not work. Take history. Look out throughout the whole of Africa. Every country that adopted this system is in poverty right now. Absolute poverty. Because it doesn't work. Free market capitalism is the only thing that works. That's all I'm going to say today. I will be back very soon with some more information. I call on all the leaders of all these parties. And I'll put the email address up. Contact me and let's go. I want the world to know what you have to say. Let's hear what you have to say. I'm sorry I've been away for a while. I've been ill. And hopefully everything will be okay and then. But I'm here and there is plans in the works. We need to move forward with the right leadership. And to all people of South Africa, black and white, doesn't matter who you are. If you build it, they will come. And God works in mysterious ways. You cannot burn things and expect them to grow. If you have a building, you can expand it. If you don't have a building, it is dust. And you can't eat dust. Good night, everybody. Good luck out there. And I'll be back soon.